So awesome, right? I don't have to time myself because I can talk for 20 minutes if I want to. I'm kidding. We're right on time too, so I'm going to get you guys on time. I guess I just wanted to wrap up talking just a little bit about, Lioness and what this is and why we're here and what we're trying to do. So we started Lioness in August 2011. We did a soft launch. And the reason that happened is I was working with a variety of female entrepreneurs through the Lioness Group, which was a really small PR firm that I had started working with entrepreneurs. It was just me. If I had a large load, I had my news buddies kind of help me out and help me bang out the work. And we started sharing best practices and tips, and I realized that all of this information wasn't in one place. And I say that because I don't think a lot of people, or maybe women, I don't know if you've noticed this, there is no mainstream entrepreneur magazine for women. There isn't. Think of all of your favorite entrepreneur magazines. They are my favorite too. I love them. I think it was Mike earlier threw some names out. Inc., Fast Company, I love them. And they openly admit that more than 60% of their readers are males. So first of all, what we are attempting to do at Lioness has never been done. Are there publications for women in business? Yes. If you are a female professional who works at a bank, if you are a woman who is paving the way in a nonprofit, you could find a women in business publication that will give you career advice, tips, list some events for you. But if you are a female entrepreneur, there is no magazine that is solely dedicated to catering news to you. And that was for me, that was profound at the time, because I was like, I never noticed that. I go to Barnes & Noble and I pick up what's there and what's popular. And I never realized for myself, as I was building a business, that, wow, there wasn't something just for me. And so I created this really ugly mock cover that I thought looked good at the time. And I sent it to some female entrepreneurs that I knew. And I said, is this something that you would read? And a few of them said yes. But some of them also said that they would love to write for it. And 3 months later, because once I have an idea, I have to do it right away before it goes to Michael Connolly. God might give it to him. So I act on it right away. And so we launched it and we did a soft launch. And since then, we've been read by more than 3,000 people, which is huge for me. I don't have a business partner. I didn't come up with this with anybody else. It was just myself. And I reached out to some really cool people who took pity on me because I'm a startup and I'm poor and I eat a lot of ramen noodles, and people like Al, who I could go by his office to get something to eat if I'm they take pity.
Sometimes are good for you.
See, thank you. And so that's how we've been kind of able to do this. It's been remarkable because I'll give you an example. So we were being published on issue.com. And though we've been read by 3,000 people, that's total since we launched. We know that within the first 20 to 25 days after we publish an issue, we average about 525 readers. And then the numbers go up, right? Because somebody shares an article, you tell a friend, they come back, they check it out, they check out the back issues. We launched our website last week, which was huge for us. And so far, when I checked, I think that was on Thursday, we already had 625 readers. That's huge. We did that in a week, what we normally do in a month. So it shows you that people want the content. Women want it. Through the small surveying we've been able to do, about 75% of our readers are women. There are some guys who still come and check it out, and that's cool. But people are reading it, and so that was important to us. And so because we're embarking on this new journey, it's a lot of figuring it out as you go. And so we've been turning to a lot of resources and participating in accelerator programs to grow. And in doing that research, I just wanted to share a little bit with you of some of the information we've been getting. So I don't know if you're familiar with the National Women's Business Council, but they're advisors to the White House and the SBA, and they do tremendous work with women. And in their 2013 report, they listed 4 key areas that really needed to be focused on in 2014 for women. The first one was access to capital. Women are underexposed and underfunded. It's not easy for us to get capital to really launch our companies or to grow them. And a paper came out a couple months ago, which I had to write down for you guys because totally Google it. It was very eye-opening to me. So we know that of all of the firms in the country who receive venture capital funding, only about 7% of them are actually owned by women, right? So we're not getting the money when we go to, don't believe Shark Tank, when we go there and we're pitching, we're not really getting the money. And so these three awesome women, Allison Brooks, Laura Hong, and Sarah Kearney, said, why is that? And so they went and they did some research and they wrote this paper called Investors Prefer Entrepreneurial Ventures Pitched by Attractive Men. And they gave a group of guys and women the same exact company to pitch. And more than 60% of the guys got the funding and the women didn't. That is amazing. You're saying the same business using the same language, and they're saying no to you and yes to a guy. Now, don't forget they use the word attractive. So if Pee Wee Herman went in, he wouldn't get it. If Brad Pitt went in, he was more likely to get the cash. Right? No disrespect to Pee Wee Herman. I loved him growing up. But I just want to give you a visual. And so that was really telling. And the NWBC feels like you need to do some work towards that, which totally check out the report because they also list strategies. The second key finding was that women didn't have access to markets. So especially if you were a woman who you were going into a male-dominated field, if you wanted to be a part of a corporate supply chain or you wanted to get more government contracts, right? It was hard for you to get in, to break into that, to get the jobs and the gigs that your company needed to sustain itself. So they also said there needs to be some work done there. The third one was job growth and creation. We know that entrepreneurs are vital to our economy, right? Because as we launch startups and you scale up, the first thing that you're doing is you're hiring people. So you're impacting your immediate local economy and then nationally because you're giving people jobs, they're paying taxes. It's being paid forward and hopefully coming back into your community. It's not easy for a woman to do that. So again, they were saying there needs to be more programs focused on women-based accelerator programs and women-themed incubators so that these women have a place to go to thrive and grow. I actually just completed the Valley Venture Mentors program, and though it's not specifically for women, I found tremendous help there in terms of growing Lioness. And it was a 6-month program. I went in with my 8 goals, and I will say that I left accomplishing 7 of the 8. So it's a worthwhile program, and it gives you opportunities to bounce your ideas off of professionals and experts, and they lead you and they guide you. The fourth one, which is really, really important to me, is data collection, okay? Because there are some statistical, there is some statistical information available on female entrepreneurs, but not a lot. Right? Because we're rapidly on the rise now, so it's not something that has been tracked for a long period of time. And the reason that that is important to Lioness is because, like I said, if we're breaking ground and we're launching, a leading digital magazine for female entrepreneurs and it's never existed before, it's hard for me to get information on what you guys like, what you need. And so creating events like 5 and having dialogue, and yeah, I might bother you with a survey question. It gives me the feedback that I need to know what I need to do because I can't look at an ink and say, well, that worked for them. Well, only 40% of women are reading you. So that is not telling me how you're reaching them. So the work that I think that we're doing, I'm proud of it. I think it's really important. I'm excited to bring it to the Pioneer Valley and presenting opportunities for women to get together to discuss entrepreneurship and innovation and how we can not only build up the Pioneer Valley, but the world, right? I believe in world takeover dominator. My mom was telling me to dust. I'm like, I'm going to find a husband. Somebody has to be home dusting while I'm out like taking over the world, right? So I just want to thank all of you guys for coming here today. Please, please, please give us your feedback. Anything that I could do to make it better. Our next one is going to be June 13th in Holyoke over at the Innovation Center. So we're really, really excited to keep it moving and keep it going and growing. Again, Julie, thank you to the Women's Fund for having us. Thank you to YPS and NAPE and the Creative Strategy Agency and Swanson Meetings and Event Planning. because I cannot plan an event for my life. I can come up with the idea, but Diane was awesome in helping me kind of put this all together and keep it in one seamless package. And last but not least, to Claudine at the Magic Spoon, you always feed us so well. So thank you, and have a lovely day.